Hi everybody. Hello there. Welcome to my live. It's Laura Roderick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from San Antonio, Texas. And I'm looking forward to making some cards tonight. So hello to all my Stampin' friends. Thanks for watching. It's a beautiful sunny evening here in San Antonio. I still, I'm originally from Chicago. That's where I used to live. And I still get alerts on my phone for weather. So about a half an hour ago, I got an alert from where I used to live, which was the south suburbs of Chicago, that there was a severe thunderstorm watch. So I hope everybody out there is okay. I don't get any alerts in San Antonio. As a matter of fact, I thought it was strange when I moved here that they don't even have tornado sirens here. Like, they don't exist. They don't have them, which, is totally foreign to me because, how many times have we heard those go off in Chicago? But we don't really get big storms here. I've certainly never had to take cover for a tornado here or anything. But anyway, best wishes. Hopefully the storm has passed and everybody's fine in Chicago. We're going to be hot for, as far as I could see into the future on the Weather Channel, so like till the 4th of September, or we're going to be in the 90s still. So it's hard to think about fall when it's still so hot, and I'm not complaining. I love the weather. It's nice to have an extended summer, but it's still hot here. All right, so we're going to get started in a minute. Give me 1 second to pull up on my iPad and make sure my volume is off. And we'll see if we come up live. Okay, it looks like we're live and in the right place. All right, so I'm excited to show you these cards tonight. Now, some of you may already have the product for this. I had offered this class up a few weeks ago that you could order in advance and get the supplies. So if you did that and you're going to craft along tonight, that's great. It's going to be really fun. I tend to go a little bit fast on these, so if it's too fast, you can always watch the rerun and hit pause. But these are pretty easy cards once you get the prep done. And the prep for these is a lot of cutting out flowers. And I use die cuts to cut out the flowers. You could also fussy cut them with scissors. But everything else is pretty much cut. And if you ordered the kit ahead of time, then you already got everything pre-cut for you except for the flowers from the designer series paper. So I'm going to turn my camera down so we can get started. If you jump on, say hello. If you're watching on Facebook, I also save this video later to my Facebook business channel, which is Sunshine and Sparkle Stamping. And then I also load it to YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube, thank you for watching also. All right, so let's turn this down and set my camera so you can see what we're going to be doing. Oops, hold on. And that's not bad. I think I'm happy with that. Okay. Let me just pull my chair up a little bit so I can reach everything. Okay, so this is the Happiness Abounds set that we're going to use. This is from the annual catalog, and it's found on pages 108 and 109. And it's Hues of Happiness is the suite set. And you can see this is the designer series paper that we're using. We're going to use the stamps, the dies. Here's a couple samples if you can see these in the catalog. And we're also going to be using the Glossy Dots. I don't think I have a good picture of those for a little bit of embellishment and the pool party ribbon. So let me show you what we're going to make first of all. So we're going to make some cards with this beautiful designer series paper. So we've got a You Are Wonderful in Every Way. We've got a thank you card. We've got a happy birthday card. And then we're also going to make a little gift bag this evening. So all these are really pretty. If you like flowers, this set is for you. It's just really pretty. It's one of the first sets when I got the catalog. I love, love, love the colors in this. So let me show you. This is the stamp set up close. It's called Happiness Abounds, and you can see the beautiful fonts on these sentiments, which I think are just gorgeous. I love it. It also has the stamps of the flowers and the leaves, which I didn't use on these products, but I'm going to show you a little sample of that. These are the dies that we used, and these two dies are really fun because they cut out a little bit of edge of paper to make it look like a little notebook, like ripped out of a notebook, so those are fun dies. It's got this big die, which I also didn't use in the projects, but I can show you what that does. It kind of cuts the paper out. So we could have used this as a background. You can see how pretty that die is. And some of the little pieces you can see kind of lift up to add a little bit of dimension, like these little leafy things. So that's a fun die. I just did not incorporate that into any of the cards that we're doing tonight. And then all these are flower and leaf dies. So the paper that goes with it is this designer series paper right here. And it's got beautiful, beautiful flowers in it in the different colors, like all the different rainbow colors of this beautiful DSP. And then on the flip side, it's kind of got some rainbow colors in the back. Some little rainbow, I think those are like X's, little flowers, just really pretty two-sided paper. And let me take a piece of this out and show you how the dies work with this. So you could fussy cut with scissors if you wanted, but all these dies are made to cut out the flowers in the designer series paper. So for example, this big flower, this gets cut out with this die right here. You can see how perfectly it fits and cuts out the flowers. So each one of them, the little leaves cut out with the dies. You get the idea, right? All the pretty flowers that cut out. Can't remember, this is like a puzzle, right? Which one goes with which? But lots of dies to go with the different sizes and shapes of the flowers. So the prep work for this, like I said, was die cutting all the flowers. So if you die cut all your flowers, and you don't have to cut all of them, just, you know, find an assortment of the ones that you like. If you die cut these in advance, then putting the card together is super fast and easy. So if you had ordered the kit from me, you got a half a pack of this designer series paper. You got all the supplies to make these 4 projects. You got a spool of pool party ribbon, and then you also got this beautiful Glossy Dots assortment, which coordinates the colors just perfectly. So you got all that for $30 plus the $8 shipping. So I think that was a pretty good deal, and plenty left over when you're done making the cards to make other things. So let's get started on our first card. So in addition to that bundle, I'm just setting this up so I can see it. For this first card, and we're going to do this one first, You Are Wonderful in Every Way. You can see that I used an embossing folder for the background, and this is the Quatrefoil embossing folder, which I think is just really, really pretty. I hope you can see the detail in that, how beautiful that is. And then, of course, one of my favorite die sets, the Scalloped Contours, and I use those dies to cut out this paper right here. Okay, so let's get out our pieces. I love the color combination of this too. I just love this So Saffron yellow color with the Melon Mambo. It just looks really pretty. Okay, so our basic card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored a 4 1/4 of Melon Mambo. Our next layer is going to be 5 1/4 by 4 inch, and this is basic white. And this is the one that we're going to go ahead and send through our embossing folder and our cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to line this up in here. You can see Stampin' Up gives you a little bit of a line to line it up so that it comes out straight. So I'm just going to put that inside the folder. And I didn't quite get that straight. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good now. And I'm going to get my big cut and emboss machine out. And let me set this up here. It barely fits in my workspace. I hope y'all can see this okay. And I'm going to get my plates out. And the Stampin' Up plates, as you can see, it tells you exactly what plates to use in here. So I'm going to send my folder through, and with the folded side first of the folder. And I'm just going to slide, whoa, hold on. This is not a 3D embossing folder. So I need something a little bit thicker. So let me see. Hold on, get the other plates. For this one, it says a 1, a 3, and a 3. So these are my 3s. So we have 2 different kinds of embossing folders. One is 3D, and those are the 2 plates that I just showed you. And then this one is not a 3D. So we use different plates for this one. So let's try that again. What I should do is go through and label my embossing folder so I know which ones ahead of time are 3D and which ones are not. And maybe there's an easier way to figure that out. If you know what it is, let me know. Leave me a comment because I'm missing it, if there is a way to tell which ones are 3D and which ones are not. Anyway, so we're done with that. And look how pretty that came out. Isn't that beautiful? This is one of my favorite embossing folders. I just love this pattern. Okay, so that's all done and ready. We can just go ahead and start putting our card together. So we're going to add this layer on top of our Melon Mambo. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal to attach that. I'm going to add a little more than I normally do because I want to make sure this sticks with all the texture on it. And I'm going to center that right in the middle of my card. So that's our first layer. Okay, then I've got a couple other layers. So I'm going to take the Scalloped Contours dies, and I have So Saffron and the basic white. And I'm just going to, before I attach those, I'm going to do my stamping because if I screw that up, I don't want to have it attached already. So I'm going to use the Melon Mambo stamp pad to do my sentiment, and I'm going to use You Are Wonderful in Every Way. And that's this one right here. So I'm just going to ink that up. Let's see if I can, I'm going to pull it down a little. I hope you can still see it, but I need to be able to kind of center it. Okay, and that came out good. So we're green light to put it down. All right, so I'll add a little bit of seal to this layer. And we'll center that on this layer. So now we have two scallop layers. Then we're going to start putting our flowers out. So I've pre-cut these already. And you don't have to do the same flowers. You can mix it up each time, you know, however you want it. I don't think these are exactly the same flowers as I did the first card, but I'm going to end up putting one here, one kind of behind right here, and then this little pink rose right underneath. And I want to make sure I'm happy with that. I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll add the leaves afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to put the first layer down with some seal. Hold on. Sometimes I don't have the right angle on this. And we'll put that one right about here. And then I'll do the next layer also with seal. Okay. And I want this one to kind of come down to the bottom. Then I'm going to pop this one up with some dimensionals. Ooh, a new sheet, how exciting. I probably go about through one sheet a week of these dimensionals, but they're very economical. I think they come out to like, I don't know, $1.25 a sheet or something. They're pretty inexpensive. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one popped up right here. And then I can go ahead and start placing my leaves, which I'm also going to just put a little bit of seal on the back to make it easy. And just kind of tuck them in where I think they should go, not cover up my words. Like I said, once you do the die cutting for these, it's easy because it's just assembly then. You're just putting things together. And we'll put that one right there. I think that looks good. Let's pop this up onto our other layers. And I'll just use some dimensionals for this. So yeah, not getting too messy with the stamping tonight. Just doing die cutting and putting it on pretty much. We're just stamping sentiments basically. And that's gonna go right there. Now we're gonna take some of those beautiful glossy dots, and I chose to use the yellow ones on this. So we'll just add some of these yellow ones on. So we'll put one here. Whoa, having trouble lifting this up. And I don't have quite as much white space as I did on my original card. I think maybe some of the flowers might be bigger, but Still works. And we have one right about there. So that is our card. That's our first card. I think it's really pretty. I hope y'all like it. Okay, so I want to show you something else before we move on to the next card. Going back to the stamp set, I had showed you, you can also stamp these flowers. So I stamped some of these flowers on white with the Versamark pad, and then I embossed it with the white embossing powder and heat embossed it. And then I just took some of our blends markers and colored it in. So I just wanted to show you how that comes out. And these are the flowers. Like I said, I embossed them in white, and then I colored them with the markers. And I think they came out really, really pretty. So if you didn't have the designer series paper, you could also just stamp and color your own flowers. So just to give you an idea what this would look like if we had just done that instead of just die cutting the flowers, that's kind of what it would have looked like if we had stamped and embossed the flowers, which I also think is very pretty. Now, I didn't want to do that because this is a class and I didn't want everybody to have to buy embossing powder and a heat tool and everything like that. I thought it was easier just to have the paper to cut out, but I think that would make a really beautiful card too with doing it the stamping way. Okay, on to card number 2. Let me put some of my toys away. So the next one we're going to do is the birthday card, and that's this card right here. Again, nice and easy because we've already got our pieces die cut. And so for this one, the only other thing I added was the layering circle dies, which I use all the time. And we just used a couple circles to do a regular white circle and then a scalloped gorgeous grape circle. So here's our pieces for this card. Already cut out. All right, so this time for the base, we used Pool Party cardstock. Same dimension as before. We're just going to open our card this way. Next, I cut out some purple borders. So, well, let me just start with this. I have a piece of that designer series paper that I showed you. That's going to go right here on the card as a layer. And the dimensions for this are 5.5 by, this is 3 inches this way, and 5.5 to go across the card. Then I took some 1 inch by 5.5 of the gorgeous grape, and I cut these scallops to border on either side of the designer series paper. And I got that from the die set that I already showed you that we used on the first card. And it's just this die right here. And I used it to cut out the borders just like that. And I think that makes for a really beautiful border. Okay, so I want to attach my borders to my piece of DSP first. So what I'm going to do is just run a little bit of seal along the edge. And I don't want too much of it. I don't need the whole thing to show. So I can just run it across my edge like this, except I did the wrong side. Hold on. Now I'm going to put that on my silicone mat because I'll be able to lift it. And it won't matter because we're going to put this layer down on the card anyway. But as you can see, I'm going to kind of line it up like right about here and press it down. And then you can see that I went a little bit in my measurements. I didn't go exactly because I wanted to be able to trim it off wherever I wanted it at the end. So I'm just going to trim the ends off. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and hopefully put my seal on the correct side this time. And we'll line this piece up too. About the same like that. All right, isn't that a pretty border? I love that. Some of these dies are so versatile and you can use them over and over on different projects. It's just really nice. Okay, so we're ready, almost ready to put this layer down. Before I do that, I'm going to take some of this Pool Party ribbon and tie it around and make a bow. So I'm going to keep this mat handy in case I put this down. It won't stick to anything. And I'm just going to take this beautiful Pool Party sheer ribbon and wrap it around. Make sure I have enough to tie a bow. And tie a bow right. Let me pull that a little bit more. right about here. Don't you love the way this ribbon coordinates? And it's just kind of sparkly because just, I don't know, what would you call that? It's sparkly, but is it like almost iridescent? It's just really, really pretty ribbon. Okay. All right, that's our bow. Let's trim off the ends so they're neat. Hopefully, am I too low on the page? I'm sorry. Y'all can't see if I get too low in the work area. Okay, now we're ready to put this layer onto our card base. So let me put that aside. Now I can add more glue to the back here. And I'm just putting a lot because there's lots of layers here that I want to tack down. All right, so I'm going to just put that edge to edge, kind of centered in the middle. And if anything hangs over, well, it's a little late to trim it now because I tied my ribbon, right? But I think that's pretty good. I might just trim just a little bit right here. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now we can start doing our other layering. So we have the cut circles that we already talked about. So I'm just going to put the white on the Gorgeous Grape cardstock. And then I will attach that just with some seal to the card. I'm just going to kind of straddle the ribbon here. And we'll put that right about there. And then we're going to layer our flowers up on top of them. So I've got this flower and this one that kind of sticks up, and then this one over here. So that's kind of how we're going to do it, right like that. And then we'll add our leaves. I think I just added one leaf set this time. All right, so again, purple we'll do first, which I think this color is Fresh Freesia. And then I'm going to do this one that's almost like a pool party, but a little bit darker too, of a rose. Is that a real rose color? I'm not sure, but I like it. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals and pop this last one up, sitting on top of the others. I know for sure there's yellow roses. Okay, and then we'll just add our little leaves up on the top, sticking out right through here. And then let's add some more of our pretty dots. And we also have our sentiment. So on this one, I have the little strip of Pool Party. And I think that is, how big is the Pool Party? I think it's 3.5 by 3/4 of an inch. And on this one, we're going to stamp Happy Birthday. And I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grape that matches the paper to stamp that right under the Pool Party. So I'm going to ink that up and put it right in the middle. And then I'm just going to trim off the ends on an angle. Just like that. Nothing too fancy, nice and easy, right? All right, let's pop that up. I think this would be a really nice birthday card for someone. And we'll put this right across this way, like that. Okay, so let me just check my hands to make sure I didn't get any. I am a little inky. Hold on. Let me get out a baby wipe and make sure I'm not going to get ink all over everything. Okay. All right, time for some dots. So on this one, I just had room for a couple little dots. So I picked one of these Gorgeous Grape dots, pretty purple, and I had that one right there. And then one of these Pool Party, one of these little Pool Party ones, and we'll put that one right there. Again, it coordinates, the colors just coordinate so nicely with each other. I'm just gonna tuck that under there. All right, card number 2 finished. Okay, The next card we're going to do also kind of has a purple theme to it, and this is sending many thanks for all that you do. And let's pull out our pieces for this. Okay, so I just want to show you quickly. I'm going to pull the dies out again for this and show you what I did for this layer. So this is just your basic white layer, and this is the die that I used, and you can see how it just cuts out the edge just like this in little dots, so it looks like a little piece of ripped out note paper out of a spiral notebook. And I think that's just a really cute little effect. Really fun die. Okay, so our layers: fresh freesia cardstock, 8.5, 5.5, score to 4 1/4. Our next one is a piece of the designer series paper, and this is 5 1/4 by 4, and that'll be our next layer. We can go ahead and put that down right away. All right. Okay. Next layer we're going to put on is that piece of the basic white that we cut and die cut. Uh-oh, see, hold on, I got purple ink. That's okay, we can fix that. I've got the little ink, I've got my sand eraser, so I can just brush off some of this ink color with my sand eraser. If you're messy like me, you might have to do that every once in a while. And we'll get it all fixed up. And some of it's going to be covered by the flowers anyway, so I think we're all good with that. So we're going to put this piece at an angle, and again, use seal to tack it down. Right like that. All right, let's get our sentiment ready. On the fresh freesia, this is again 3/4 inch, and I think this is 4 inches long, and we're going to do sending many thanks for all you do, and I'm going to use the gorgeous grape again. All right, so that is stamped, and then I'm going to use another one of my favorite toys, my pick a banner punch, and just flag the ends. Now you could do like we did on the last card and just do it at an angle, or you could manually do these. What you do is just cut up the middle and then just cut both sides in to do that. I just like this because it's so quick and easy, and I use this all the time to make little banner punches. All right, I think that looks pretty even. All right, so let's pop this up across the bottom. And just like that, and we're ready to put our flowers on. So this one, it looks like a gorgeous grape flower. We'll put here again that pool party color, and then a fresh freesia flower like that. Okay, and I think it looks like I popped all of the flowers up this time, so let's do that. If you're crafting along with me, remember you can always, if you're watching the recording, hit pause and catch up. But if you've already pre-cut your flowers, you should be able to keep up because we're just gluing at this point, right? All right, this one here, and then we'll do our fresh freesia. Okay, time to add some leaves. And it looks like I popped those up too, so why not? And it looks like I'm missing one. There it is. All right. Everybody start watching football again? Football started. If you're watching football, I hope your team is winning. Mine did not win this week. We don't have a professional football team in San Antonio. I am a Bears fan. Okay, so that looks really pretty. We'll add some more dots to this. And we're going to use the pool party dots. So we'll add a couple different sizes. We'll get one of these big ones first. Oh, okay, hold on. We'll put that one there, then maybe a medium one. Down here, and just another little one. Like right like that. Really pretty how they coordinate, right? All right, so that is our thank you card. Now on the inside, we've got colored cardstock, so you would want to put a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 of your basic white cardstock on the inside. You could also add a flower, a little flower and a leaf in the corner if you wanted to. I think that would look really pretty to finish off your card, and then you could write your thank yous inside. All right, so that's our third card. What we're gonna do next is the gift bag. Now these gift bags are really nice. They're embossed gift bags, so you can see they're embossed with the stripes. They're a white gift bag, and here's the back of it. And we're just gonna make a little panel for the front to put in our gift bag, and we just added a little tissue paper. So what I also added this time for this project is I used these fancy frames dies, and I just used this die too that we're going to frame some of the flowers in on the panel. Okay, and I cut that with the basic white. So here is our bag all folded up and ready to go. Put that aside before I ruin it with ink. And here are our pieces. So let me let you know the measurements for this. So I thought this designer series paper was really pretty, so I backed it up with, you can see it has like a navy, Night of Navy background, so I just have some Night of Navy paper. So this Night of Navy is 4 3/4 by 4 1/8, and then the Hues of Happiness designer series paper is 4 by 4 1/4 that's going to go on top. Okay, and that's just a layer. Oops. And we'll put that right like this. And we just have a little bit of a navy border that way, which I think looks really pretty. Then our next layer, we're going to put down. Now I cut this twice, okay? First I cut it in white, and of course the white part cuts out, and then I cut it in the Night of Navy, and so I'm going to use the inside of the Night of Navy and the outside of the white to make our little frame for the flowers. So I'll start by centering the navy where I want it on the card, and then I'll put the frame around it. So we'll put this pretty much right in the middle, I think. Now I'm going to get my silicone mat out again because I'm going to put a little glue, and I don't want it to get all over on the back of this. You can see it's a pretty skinny edge right here, so I don't really want to use my seal for that because I feel like it would hang over. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Tombow glue and just try and do a really skinny little edge here. Okay, and I think we are good to go with that. See if I can center that around. And whoops. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm just going to hold it down till it sets for a minute. All right, is that crooked? I can't tell if that's crooked. It might be just a tiny bit crooked. I'm not sure. Okay, but I think the flowers will distract from that. So here are the flowers for this one. We're going to use fresh freesia, a little bit of this looks like a polished pink to me, and then another yellow rose down here. So that's what our flowers are going to look like on here. We've got a couple of sets of leaves. And then let's do our sentiment. This time I stamped the sentiment in Night of Navy to coordinate. And we're doing, this one I used Wishing You All the Happiness You Can Imagine. You can use any one you want. You could make this a little birthday bag if you wanted to. Although Wishing You Happiness, that's kind of birthday too, right? Whoa. Make sure I have that inked up good or not too much. Let's see how that comes out. I feel like I'm missing spots on here. Okay, that looks fine. All right, so I did this one, I just kind of free cut out around the edges. So I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of cut straight across this way and then just curve around the other parts. And I did this because this was a class and I didn't want people to have to buy extra dies for the sentiments. So that's why I kind of just did straight rectangles and cut off the ends and did this around this sentiment too, to keep it nice and simple. And I think that looks pretty good. Now you could get a little tighter on here if you wanted to add a little bit more to it. It's up to you how tight you want to get with your cut. All right, so let's start putting flowers down. Stuff stuck to me. So we'll put this on the bottom layer. It's pretty red colored one. And then I think we'll pop the others up. Nice and easy when all you have to do is the assembly. And then the yellow one. I'll leave a little space for the overlap right there. Pretty. And then we'll just use some seal to put down our leaves. We'll put a set right here. And you can see the flowers mirror the ones in the designer series paper layer too, right? So that coordinates really nicely. Okay, lastly, we're gonna put the sentiment on. And I'm gonna pop that up mostly at the bottom because it's gonna overlap a few things. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of seal up here too to kind of put it down. So we'll put that kind of right here. And that looks good. Now on this one, I didn't put any of those polished dots, but I think we should, right? What color should we use on this one? I think I'm gonna go, I'm kind of partial to the pool party ones. I really like that color. I think it's pretty. So we'll just add a couple of dots in different places for that. Just make it a little bit more special. All right, we're gonna attach it to our bag and I'm just gonna use some seal for that. And then after that, we're gonna just add a little pool party bow. So we'll put this right in the middle like that. And get out our pool party ribbon again. And this time we're just gonna tie a bow that we can attach with a glue dot. And then you just have a fun, fancy little gift bag to hold something special. Maybe a gift card, maybe some jewelry. This would be a great jewelry bag because it's not very big inside. It's kind of a skinny bag, so give someone some jewelry. That's what I think. Okay, glue dot for our bow. And we'll put that right here. All right, and then our bag just opens up like this. So you can see what I was talking about, how skinny it is, right? And then you can add some matching tissue paper. I actually got, this is actually, looks like pool party tissue paper that I got out of my one of my paper pumpkin boxes, which was great. I didn't really realize that their papers kind of coordinate too, so I'm going to be saving those from now on to use in gift bags. This one's getting a little beat up because I made it a long time ago and I've been playing with it a lot. So that is our last project. Let me pull out our projects to show you. Again, the cards we made, the thank you card, the happy birthday card, and then the how wonderful you are wonderful in every way card. So I think that's a really nice set of cards to make for people. So I'm not doing a make and take since I had already offered this as a class, so I won't do that this week. But if you do place an order with me this week of $35 or more, by Saturday, I will send you a pack of the Glossy Dots for free. These are really beautiful. I think you'll really like those. You have to use the host code. It's RZPKVSJM. And you can just go to my website, which is right here. I'm going to put all the links for this on my business Facebook page and also on the YouTube video if you want links for that. That'll make everything easy to go to. I'm going to show you a couple quick things, and then I'll show you what's on the agenda for next week. So next week, even though it's hot and summer here, we're going to dive into fall and start making some fall cards. So that's going to be really fun. If you would like the project measurement and supply sheet, shoot me an email at sparklesandsunshinestamping@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you the measurements and the supply kit for this, the supply sheet. Just a quick reminder that we still have our Perfect Partners sale going on through the end of September. And these are just dies they've added to stamp sets that we already had, and you can get 10% off if you order the bundle, which is the stamp and the die set together. Last week we did the Playful Piggy Dies set, which was really fun, and they've got a bunch of other cute sets. I don't know, does anybody like Yetis? I think that's kind of funny that there's a Yeti. There's a Christmas set, which is a trimming the tree. So those are good till the end of the month, or I think while supplies last. So maybe they'll extend it a little bit longer, not sure. Paper Pumpkin this month, they're starting Christmas, so the next Paper Pumpkin you have till the 10th to order is going to be 9 cards, Christmas cards, and they don't give you too much in advance, so you know it's a little bit of a mystery always. And let me just show you the Paper Pumpkin that I just got this weekend. This was the last kit, and this was their Halloween kit. And just to show you again what the Paper Pumpkin comes with, it comes with instructions. You always get a really nice stamp set. You get a stamp pad, a little mini stamp pad. This time I got some tear and tape, some dimensionals, and these are kind of, I think, like a medium-sized dimensional between our regular size and the minis, so that's a really fun size to have. Glue dots. This came with some black star embellishments, which was awesome, and then all the little pre-cut things that you need to make your projects. So the projects were treat boxes. So it made these cute little treat boxes this time. And you can see they just kind of open this way, so you can put some candy in there. So I think this was a really, really fun Paper Pumpkin this month. And then I made a couple of alternative projects for the Paper Pumpkin with the stamp sets that they had. So I heat embossed these little ghosts on here on this. You can kind of see the star background in the background. And added a little bit of, this was also a stamp in the set, just a little bit of fun glittery trim. And it had the little spider and the spider web. So I did this little card too. Just some alternative projects that you can do with the stuff that they give you in the kit. All right, so next week we're going to start on fall. These are the cards that I have for next week. Autumn wishes. Wishing you the loveliest day. You can see we're starting with pumpkins, right? You are such a blessing. And then this lovely thank you card made with the Designer Series paper. So I hope you can join me next week for a fun fall crafting class. And thank you so much for joining me this week. I appreciate everybody watching. And I hope everybody has a great week. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Pam. Thanks, you guys, for watching. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.